On Thursday, Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders issued an executive order prohibiting woke. Specifically, the use of woke, what she calls anti-women words, for official state government business. The order instructs all state government offices and agencies to replace inclusive terms with feminine ones. Woman instead of menstruating person, breastfeeding rather than chest feeding, and birth mom instead of birth giver, for example. Now, look, as possibly clunky as these are, they're there to be they're there to be inclusive of transgender, non-binary, and other non-gender conforming people. Some, for example, like chest feeding, are only used in LGBTQ plus contexts. So there's a reason for this, and that's to be inclusive. And generally, I think that's a good thing. Clunky or not, the whole point is to be inclusive. So whatever, I'll use clunky language, I don't care, right? Now, in her address before signing the order, Sarah Sanders had said, quote, "We're all here to say, frankly, that we've had enough. Enough trying to erase women and girls, enough denying our biological differences from men, and enough of the craziness that is taking over our country." Oh, okay, like, first of all, let me point out, inclusive language does the opposite of what Sarah Sanders is saying it does. It includes women. Yes, this language is inclusive of women and people who are not women. I know. People who don't identify as women. For example, trans men, okay, who can still menstruate, get pregnant, and give birth. Yes, trans men can do that. Many of them still possess a uterus. That's why. Non-binary people who don't identify as women, but still have all the aforementioned parts and abilities. That's what this language does. It includes them, which I think is important because they exist. Why should they be excluded? Look, again, being inclusive means that women are also a part of that group. You're not erasing anybody. You're just including them. In fact, what Sarah Sanders is doing is erasing trans and non-binary people. And she's doing it via executive order, which is kind of funny because she's using the power of government in order to erase groups of people. Huh, that's weird. Isn't that what you're accusing the left of doing? It's exactly what she's accusing the left of doing. You're erasing people. No, you're erasing people that you don't like. Look, nobody is harmed by the inclusive language. In fact, using this inclusive language, and I will use inclusive language. You know why? Because it helps people feel more welcome. And I think everyone should be welcome. All right. Yes, safe space for trans people, for non-binary people, intersex, doesn't matter. You're welcome, you're valid. That's it. But apparently, to Sarah Sanders, you are not welcome in Arkansas. She does not want people to feel welcome unless they conform to what she wants them to conform as. And that's why she's banning speech, using the power of government to ban speech and erase groups of people because she just happens to not like wokeness or whatever that means. And really, wokeness is just, I guess in the case of her context, just respecting the identities of people, which is not the original meaning of wokeness, of course. That wokeness is being aware of injustices that have been perpetrated onto groups of people, okay? That's what woke is. She thinks woke is just anything that she doesn't like, because of course, right? That said, is this, I gotta ask, is this what the people of Arkansas elected her to do? Honestly, if you're somebody who's living in Arkansas right now, is this what you want your elected officials to spend their time on? Are there no other problems in Arkansas? I mean, why don't we take a look here? Why don't I dive into the numbers, in case you might not be aware. As of last year, 2022, according to a Wallet Hub analysis, Arkansas is actually the 4th worst state to live in. They looked at best and worst states. Arkansas, one of the 4th worst state. Now, this, is a comparison that involves 52 different key indicators of livability, ranging from housing costs, income growth, education rate, quality of hospitals. And in this analysis, lower numbers are good, higher numbers are bad. So let's look at some key metrics of Arkansas, shall we? Arkansas is 35th in home ownership rate. Not great. They're 45th in percentage of population in poverty. So they're incredibly high. Wow, so many people in poverty. Now, they do happen to be 18th in income growth. Interesting. 29th in number of insured in the population. But yet, while they may be 29th in insured population, a lot of people don't get to use it because they are 48th, the percentage of adults in fair or poor health. So they're not doing well. They're not very healthy. They're 42nd in average weekly work hours. They're 35th in restaurants per capita, 45th when it comes to percentage of residents aged 12 plus who are fully vaccinated. So there's not a lot of vaccinated people in Arkansas. They're also 48th in crime, meaning they have a higher crime rate than 47 other states. Wow. So now, not only that, but Arkansas also ranks among the worst states for education and child welfare. So I don't know, look, based on these numbers, Arkansas seems like a pretty crappy place to live. And not because the people are bad there. It's because of their politicians. Sarah Sanders, one of them. Only Louisiana, Alaska, and Mississippi ranked worse overall on crappy places to live in the United States. And just states. So now, knowing this, what's Sarah Sanders doing? And as her time, in her time in office, I mean, surely she should be working diligently to try to improve her state, to make it a better place to live in this country, right? Well, I'll give you an example of some of the stuff that she's been doing. Aside from this, in March, she had signed a "Don't Say Gay" law, banning classroom instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation before 5th grade, and then signed another bill allowing anyone who received gender-affirming care as a minor to sue their doctor up to 15 years after they turn 18. Oh, and by the way, she had also loosened child labor laws. Send the kids to the mines, she says. So, that seems to be her priority. It's almost as if she's more obsessed with woke, or specifically fighting woke, than actually doing things to help average people in Arkansas, Arkansans, I believe, help them live a better life.
Woke mob.
Of course. And so she's got woke on the brain. Whereas, again, not doing anything to help regular people. But hey, at least she can say a government document doesn't have the word pregnant person on it. Again, conservatives showing that they are more outraged by pronouns than poverty.